Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, dear. Good morning.
Good
Request all of
morning,
you.
ma'am.
Very good morning. Just listen to me. Request all of you to please take out your geography, your political science textbook, chapter number 1. We will be doing power sharing today. Okay. So it's only 10 on the clock. I think we should start now. Yes, girls. Should I start now?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Okay. Get ready. Okay. Thank you. Now, just look at the slide. The first slide which I am sharing with you. Power sharing, an institution, and the parliament hearing. So, girls, in class 9th, you have studied that in a democracy, all powers does not rest with any one organ of the government. An intelligent sharing of power among the legislature, executive, and judiciary is very important for the designing of democracy. I repeat, in class 9th, you have studied that in a democracy, all powers does not rest with any organ of the government. यहाँ पे क्या होता है, powers are divided. An intelligent sharing of power among legislature, executives, and judiciary is very important for the designing of democracy, because democracy means democracy is for all, for everyone. In democracy, power doesn't rest with one person, one individual. यहाँ पे powers divide होती है. So in this chapter, the idea of power sharing is explained in detail, drawing parallels between the stories of Belgium and Sri Lanka, and also you will learn the different forms of power sharing. Now, Bacha, look at the second slide. Yeah. So, in this chapter, we will study the story of Belgium, story of Sri Lanka, and the forms of power sharing. The last one, which is a form of power sharing, is very, very important. Very, very important. Here you will study how the powers are divided in a modern democracy. So first we will study the case of Belgium. Look at the pie chart and listen to me. This one and this one, the map of Belgium. So Belgium is a small country in Europe with a population of over 1 crore, about half the population of Haryana. I repeat, Belgium is a small country in Europe. Just look at this thing. Belgium is a very small country in whole of the Europe. The flag of Belgium is given here. So, with a population of over 1 crore, about half of the population of Haryana. Of the country's total population, just look at this slide, 59% speaks Dutch language, 40% of people speak German, French, and remaining 1% speak Germany. I repeat again, Belgium is a very small country in Europe. This is a map of Europe. It's a very small country in Europe. The red one is Belgium. The flag of Belgium is here. So, population of Belgium is over 1 crore, about half of the population of Haryana. Of the country's total population, just look at these two pie charts here. Of the country's total population, 59% of the people speaks Dutch, 40% of the people speak French language, and remaining 1% speak German. Now look at the map of Europe and the Belgium. The majority was rich and poor. The majority was rich and powerful, so they got the benefit of economic development and education. This created tensions between the Dutch-speaking community and the French-speaking communities during 1950s and 1960s. Just read this pie chart and listen to me again. Just look at the map to know the language variations of Belgium. Belgium में क्या था? Belgium में language variations थे. The minority was rich and powerful. The minority, the Germans, ये क्या थे? 1% थे, and 40% was French. They were rich as well as they were powerful. So they got the benefit of economic development and education. उनके पास power थी. They were very rich. Financial resources बहुत ज़्यादा थे. As a result, वो उनके पास benefit था किस चीज़ का? Economic development का और education का. So these tensions created the tensions between the Dutch-speaking and the French-speaking communities during the year 1950s and 1960s. Now, how these differences accommodated in Belgium? So now we have read the case study of Belgium. The Belgium में क्या था? There was ethnic in variations in Belgium. So next slide is all about the accommodation in Belgium. That means what did the Belgian leaders did? Belgian leaders ने इस variations को eliminate करने के लिए क्या किया? So in Belgium, the government handled the community difference very well. यहाँ पे जो government ने क्या किया? अपने जो community differences थे, जो language barriers थे, ethnic differences थे, उसको बहुत अच्छे से उसको handle किया. Between 1970s and 1993, Belgian leaders amended their constitution. उन्होंने क्या किया? अपने constitution को amend किया. Amend means change. So between 1970s and 1993, Belgian leaders amended their constitution 4 times and came up with a new model to run the government. So here are some of the elements of the Belgian model. Belgian model बेटा 3 marks में 2 marks में आपको exam में आता है. So just listen to me again. There was an ethnic diversity, ethnic composition in Belgium. Belgium में क्या था? There were people, 59% of the people speaks Dutch language, 40% जो लोग थे, they speak French language, and remaining 1% speak German language. जो वहाँ पे minorities थी, वो they were very rich and powerful. Rich और powerful होने की वजह से they were having the right of economic development and education. So this created tensions between the Dutch speaking and the French speaking communities. दोनों communities में आपस में tensions create हो गई during the years 1950s and 1960. Then what next question आता है आपके पास? What did the Belgian leaders did? उन्होंने क्या किया? So how they accommodated the differences in Belgium? So in Belgium, the government handled the community differences very well. So between the years 1970s and 1993, Belgian leaders amended their constitution 4 times just to remove this variations. उन्होंने क्या किया? Belgian government ने leaders ने जो ये अपना constitution था उसको amend किया. कितनी बारी? 4 times. 4 times amend किया and came up with a new model to run the government. So here are some of the main elements of the Belgian model. ये आपका है Belgian model. Now listen to me carefully. The first thing they did was some special laws require the support of majority of members from each linguistic group. सबसे पहले उन्होंने क्या किया? Constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Constitution amend हुआ, change हुआ. Constitution में क्या provision add हुआ? That जो Dutch speaking communities हैं, Dutch speaking ministers हैं, और French speaking ministers हैं, उनका ratio equal होगा किसमें? Central government में. So Constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. The second point talks about some special laws. Some special laws require the support of majority of members from each linguistic groups. फर्स्ट उन्होंने क्या किया, दे चेंज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, अमेंड किया। फर्स्ट स्टेप में उन्होंने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन चेंज करने के बाद क्या किया, उन्होंने इक्वल रेशियोज दी, किसको, डच स्पीकिंग मिनिस्टर्स को एंड फ्रेंच स्पीकिंग मिनिस्टर्स को। Second thing they did was special laws were required for the support of majority of members from each linguistic group. Now, what is the third point under the Belgian model? The third point is, yes, many parts of the central government were given to the state government. Just listen to me और समझो, चैप्टर का नाम पावर शेयरिंग। यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, बहुत सारी पावर जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास थी, अब वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को ट्रांसफर होगी। दैट इज द पावर शेयरिंग। यहाँ पे आपको अभी चैप्टर का नाम यहाँ पे आ रहा है पावर शेयरिंग। यहाँ पे पावर शेयर हुई, डिवाइड हुई, फ्रॉम पावर वाज taken from central government and given to state government, means powers divide हो गए। Thus, no single community can make decision unilaterally. That means यहाँ पे single powers किसी के हाथ में नहीं, यहाँ पे powers divide होती गई। That means जब भी बेल्जियम में यहाँ पे कोई भी डिसीजन लेना होता था, तो दोनों पार्टीज को, दोनों सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एज वेल एज स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, दोनों को कंसल्ट करने लगे। Third point is Brussels, this is the capital of Belgium, has a separate government in which both the communities has equal representations. तो Brussels है, this is the capital of Belgium. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? This has a separate government in which both the communities has equal representation. So I repeat again the Belgian model. The first one was constitution amend हुआ, change हुआ, जहाँ पे equal rights were given to Dutch speaking community and French speaking community. Second thing was, जब वहां पे कोई भी फैसले लेने थे, the decisions जब भी लेने थे, तो दोनों पार्टीज को इक्वली उनको कंसल्ट किया गया। थर्ड इज द पावर्स जो थी, the many powers of the central government was given to the state government. थर्ड बेल्जियन मॉडल क्या है, तो पावर्स थी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास, वो किसको दे दिया, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को दे दी। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज Brussels, which is the capital of Belgium. It has a separate government in which both the communities has equal representation. And the last point is, no single community can make decisions unilateral. Let us read the next slide and find out the Belgian model. Yeah. So next point was point number 6. Community government has a power regarding the cultural, language and education based issues. और यहाँ पे communities थी बेल्जियम में, कौन सी communities थी, डच स्पीकिंग communities and फ्रेंच स्पीकिंग communities. तो यहाँ पे community government form हुई on the basis of this language variations. तो क्या हुआ यहाँ पे, community government has the power regarding culture, language and education based issues. And the next point is the Dutch speaking community has accepted equal representation in the central government. जो डच स्पीकिंग कम्युनिटी थी, उन्होंने अपना इक्वल रिप्रेजेंटेशन जो है एक्सेप्ट किया सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में, द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ऑफ बेल्जियम. So now, what is the conclusion of the Belgian model? This is your conclusion. This portion is your conclusion. अब conclusion क्या है? So Belgian leaders realize that the unity is possible only by respecting the feelings and interest of everyone. So जब ये बेल्जियम मॉडल एस्टैब्लिश हुआ, बना था, इसके की एलिमेंट्स जस्ट नाउ वी हैव रेड। और यहाँ पे जो बेल्जियन लीडर्स ने, दिस इज एग्जांपल दैट दे हैव हैंडल्ड द कम्युनिटी डिफरेंसेस इन बेल्जियम वेरी वेल. सो एट लास्ट, आफ्टर डिजाइनिंग द कम्युनिटी दिस बेल्जियन मॉडल in Belgium, the leaders have realized that the unity is possible only by respecting the feelings and interest of everyone. Thus, the Belgian model is clear to everyone. Belgian model is clear to everyone.
Ma'am, the second point here, the community government has the power regarding culture and language. Ma'am, this is about French community or the Dutch community? Which community government?
Both, because the constitution was amended. The constitution changed here tha, and equal rights, equal representations were given to both the parties, both the communities. Understood? So this cultural rights and the educational rights were given to both the communities, Dutch-speaking communities and French-speaking communities. Understood? I think Harleen asked me this question. Harleen, it is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is a Belgian model. The case of Belgium is clear to everyone. Should I proceed now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, dear. Now let's move to Sri Lanka. Let's read the case study, the strange case study of Sri Lanka. Look, yes, here it is. So the case of Sri Lanka. Now let's read the story of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island nation having a population of about 2 crores people, and it's the same as in Haryana. The major social groups are the Sinhala speakers, that is 74%, and the Tamil speakers, 18%. Just look at the slide. This now we are talking about the strange case of Sri Lanka. It's the same case as of Belgium. Here we will study about the power sharing, how the powers were divided in Sri Lanka. The first slide talks about the Sri Lanka's Independence Day. It's on February 4, 1984, and the population of Sri Lanka consists of 2 crores people. Now the next slide. Yes, read. So now let's take the situation of another country, that is Sri Lanka. It's an island nation having a population of 2 crores, about the same as in Haryana. The major social groups are the Sinhala speakers, that is 74%. This one, and the Tamil speakers 18%, and rest 18% speaks both Tamil and their local language. Among Tamils, there are two subgroups, that is Sri Lankan Tamils, this one, this slide, and Indian Tamils. So Sri Lankan Tamils consist of 13% of the Tamils in Sri Lanka, and Indian Tamil consists of 5% Tamils in Sri Lanka. Indian Tamils वो Tamils से during colonial rule, British rule, so India से Sri Lanka गए for the plantation workers, as to work as a plantation workers. So ये थे Tamil Indians. Now in Sri Lanka, the Sinhala communities enjoy the bigger majority and impose its will on the entire country. यहाँ Sinhala community 74% है. So this was the bigger majority. Bigger majority है, and they enjoyed the certain rights. Also impose its will on the entire country. अब next topic यहाँ पे आता है हमारा majoritarianism क्या होता है. So majoritarianism in Sri Lanka is the idea or belief that majority government, the majority community should rule the nation in whichever way they want, is called majoritarianism. सेम चीज यहाँ पे हुई थी श्रीलंका में. श्रीलंका में एथनिक वेरिएशन थी. यहाँ पे क्या था, 74% जो थे यहाँ पे कम्युनिटीज थे, एंड दे बिलीव हमारे पास क्या है, मेजोरिटी पावर्स है, बिकॉज दे वर एंजॉयिंग द बिगर मेजोरिटी. बिगर मेजोरिटी है इनके पास, तो उनका क्या सोच था, क्या थिंकिंग थी, दैट दे कैन इम्पोज दे विल ऑन द एंटायर कंट्री. और जब भी एक मेजोरिटीज्म में कैसे बिलीव होता है, जहाँ पे मेजोरिटी कम्युनिटी ये बिलीव करती है दैट दे आर एबल टू रूल द कंट्री इन विच एवर वेज दे वांट. सेम थिंग श्रीलंका में हुई थी. श्रीलंका में जो थे सिन्हालास क्या थे, मेजोरिटी कम्युनिटीज थी, और श्रीलंका में ये क्या चाहते थे, मेजोरिटीज. सो लेट्स रीड द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Yes. So the measures by Sinhala. Now listen to me carefully. I will change the slides side by side. So Sri Lanka got its independence in 1948. The Sinhala community was in the majority, so that they formed the government. They also followed the preferential policies that favor Sinhala applicants for universities and government job. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, सिंहाला श्रीलंका को इंडिपेंडेंस मिला 1948 में, और सिन्हाला कम्युनिटीज के बाद मेजोरिटी राइट्स है. मेजोरिटी राइट्स है, दैट मीन्स प्रेफरेंशियल पॉलिसीज उन्हें फॉर्म करना स्टार्ट कर दिया, जहां पर गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स, यूनिवर्सिटी पोजीशंस और गवर्नमेंट जॉब सिर्फ सिन्हाला एप्लीकेंट्स को मिलने लगी. So these measures taken by the government gradually increase a feeling of alienation among the Sri Lankan Tamil. जब यहाँ पे प्रेफरेंस सिन्हाला एप्लीकेंट्स को मिलने लगी, तो एट दैट टाइम जो श्रीलंकन तमिल्स हैं उनमें स्लोली एंड ग्रेजुअली फीलिंग्स आने लगी एलिनेशन की. Beta, I think Arzu, I have sent the slides to you already on the Snap homework. If you have not received, I will send again. Beta, no need to worry. Let me complete the lecture and listen to me. For the time being, listen to me, dear, because it's very important. Right now, you listen to me, to my lecture. because notes I will provide you later on. No need to worry. Now listen to me. The second point is these measures were taken by the government gradually increase the feeling of alienation among the Sri Lankan Tamils because यहाँ पे discrimination होने लगा क्योंकि सिन्हाला के पास majority पावर से मेजोरिटी कम्युनिटी थी ये इन्होंने जो भी गवर्नमेंट पोजीशन थी हाई लेवल की पोजीशन थी यूनिवर्सिटी जॉब्स थी सब में सिन्हाला जो एप्लीकेंट्स थे उनको फेवर करना स्टार्ट कर दिया इसकी वजह से क्या होने लगा जो तमिल इंडियन से श्रीलंकन तमिल से वो अपने को आइसोलेट समझना स्टार्ट कर गया सो द श्रीलंकन Tamils felt that constitution and government policies denied them equal political rights and discriminated against them and other opportunities and ignored their interest. As a result, जब यहाँ पे discrimination होने लगा, तो श्रीलंकन तमिल्स ने क्या feel किया? They felt that constitution and the government policies are in the favor of Sinhala applicants, Sinhalas, and these policies denying them equal political rights, discriminating against them, and other opportunities, and ignoring their interests. So, due to this relationship between Sinhalas and Tamil communities, it became very poor. Now, just look at the next slide. Yes. So, due to which the relationship between the Sinhala and Tamil communities became poor. इसकी वजह से क्या होने लगा जो discrimination government ने किया कि जो सिन्हालास तमिल communities के बीच में जो भी यहाँ पे relationship था वो एकदम से poor होता गया. So Sri Lankan Tamils launched parties and struggles for the recognition of Tamil as an official language. तो श्रीलंका तमिल से उन्होंने क्या किया? They launched parties and struggles किसके लिए? To make Tamil as an official language of Sri Lanka for regional autonomy. Second thing was they fought for the regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in securing education and jobs. But their demand was repeatedly denied by the government. The demand see Sri Lankan Tamils ki, the first demand was to make Tamil as the official language of Sri Lanka. Second demand was, ma'am, please repeat Sinhala, just wait dear. So second thing was for the regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in securing education and job. The three demands were there by the Sri Lankan Tamils. But the demands were repeatedly denied by the government. Government इनकी demand को deny कर दिया. This distrust between the two communities turned into the civil war. Just read the first slide. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? This distrust जो यहाँ पे differences होने लगे जो government इनकी demands को fulfill नहीं किया. This distrust between the two communities turned into the civil war, and this civil war affected the social, economic, and the cultural life of Sri Lanka very badly. Many Tamil died and were forced to leave the nation. Citizenship to them was denied by the new laws. The civil war was ended in the year 2009 and caused a terrible setback to the social, cultural, and economic life of the country. I repeat again the strange case of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island nation having population of 2 crores. The girls who are having doubts, listen to me. The two girls have questioned me. Just listen to me carefully. So this is an island nation having a population of over 2 crores. It got independence in the year 1948. The majority community was the Sinhala communities, and they had formed the government. They also followed the preferential policies that favor Sinhala's applicants for the university and the positions and the government jobs. The second thing is these measures were taken by the government gradually increase the feeling of alienation among the Sri Lankan Tamils because all these preferential policies were for the Sri Lankan applicants and Sri Lankan Tamils were totally ignored. The Sri Lankan Tamils felt that constitution and government policies denied them equal political rights, discriminated against them and other opportunities, and ignored their interests. Due to which the relationship between the Sinhalas and the Tamil communities became very poor. So the three main demands, the three main things wanted by the Sri Lankan Tamils were. So Sri Lankan Tamils, this is for everyone, listen to me carefully. Sri Lankan Tamils launched parties and struggles for the recognition of Tamil as an official language. The three main their demands were, the first one was to make Tamil as the official language of Sri Lanka. The second thing was for the regional autonomy. I will send the notes, no need to worry, just listen to me. The regional autonomy. And the third thing is equality of opportunity in securing education and government jobs. The three things, the three demands of the Sri Lankan Tamils were, I repeat again, the first one is to make Tamil as an official language. The first one is regional autonomy. Third one is equality of opportunity in securing education and jobs. Securing education and government jobs which were reserved for only Sinhala's applicants under the presidential policies formed by the Sinhala community, the majority community in Sri Lanka. So, but the demand of the Sri Lankan Tamils were denied by the government. Government ने इनकी demand को deny कर दिया. This distrust between the two communities turned into the civil war. So this civil war affected social, economic, and the cultural life of Sri Lanka very badly. During this civil war, many Tamil died and were forced to leave the nation. Citizenship to them was denied by the new laws. This civil law, just listen to me, this civil war was ended in 2009 and caused a terrible setback to the social, cultural, and economic life of the country. So, girls, the strange case of Sri Lanka, it is clear to everyone. Tell me, it is clear?
Ma'am, please
Yes, ma'am.
explain the
Yes,
meaning of
ma'am.
regional autonomy.
It is clear or not? Tell me, girls. Just send your answers in the chat section, please. Yes, who's asking regional autonomy? Girls, the regional autonomy means decentralization of governments to outlay regions. For example, it's an autonomous area which is defined as an area of a country that has a degree of autonomy or has freedom from external authorities. That means यहाँ पे क्या था? Sri Lanka Tamils they wanted. First one thing was Tamil as an official language. Regional autonomy means ऐसा एक area, the area of a country that has a degree of autonomy, that is freedom from any external authority. Yes, I think somebody asked me. Yes, it's understood. Ma'am, why Sinhalas were given more importance? Because Sinhalas was the majority community in Sri Lanka. So they wanted it, although they're having the majority communities, so they followed the preferential policies. That is why we are talking about the majoritarianism. Yes, peacekeeping force was sent to Sri Lanka and was also for the civil war only, which was afterwards withdrawn to. Yeah, Shaista, you're good. You're right. Ma'am, was majoritarian government established by Sinhala supremacy? Yes, it was set up by the Sinhalas only, because Sinhalas was a majority community in Sri Lanka, and they followed the model of majoritarism, where a community which have the powers, which has a majority, they believe that they are able to rule a country in whichever ways they want. That is why यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, उन्होंने क्या किया, सिन्हालास ने jobs reserve की, but only for the Sinhala applicants. तमिलियंस के लिए नहीं किया, श्रीलंका तमिलियंस के लिए नहीं किया, अपनी कम्युनिटीज को क्या किया, प्रमोट किया, किसके लिए, यूनिवर्सिटी जॉब्स के लिए और गवर्नमेंट पोजीशंस के लिए. इसलिए यहाँ पे क्या सिविल वॉर रही. गुड, थैंक यू बेटा. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, सिविल वॉर हुई। सिविल वॉर की में क्या हुआ, तमिल्स जो थे, श्रीलंका तमिल्स को उनके राइट्स नहीं मिल रहे थे। So that is why यहाँ पे civil war हुई between the Sri Lankan Tamils and the Sinhalas. As a result, many Tamils died and were forced to leave the nation. Obviously, war होगी तो क्या होगा, war से country की social, economic, cultural, political life भी badly affect करेगी। तो जो ये civil war थी 2009 में and हुई, and this Shastra has rightly written that peacekeeping force was also sent to Sri Lanka, which was also for this civil war, and which this was withdrawn afterwards. So, girls, this topic is clear to everyone. Any doubt, bache, just tell me. Any doubt?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, sure. I will send you the notes right now on the snap homework. Just check it
No,
out.
ma'am.
Okay, if you have any problem, we will discuss in the next lecture. Now our last topic is remaining, that is the power sharing. We'll complete this power sharing, the different forms of power sharing in our next lecture. Understood, beta? Any doubt here? Any doubt here?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, are these forms of government?
So I am ending this class here. If you have any doubt, we'll discuss in our next lecture.